On December 16, 2009, the sports world was shaken up by the tragic and bizarre accident that claimed the life of Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Chris Henry. Chris, only 26 years old and in his fourth year of a promising NFL career, was involved in an argument with his fiancée. In a moment of heightened emotion, Chris climbed into the bed of a moving pickup truck. Somehow, during the altercation, he fell out of the truck, sustaining life-threatening injuries. Early the next morning, on December 17th, Chris Henry drew his last breath, leaving behind a career, dreams, and a future that was tragically cut short. Ordinarily, a story like this would end with mourning of a young, talented man who left the world far too soon. But for Chris Henry, this was not the end. His death became the beginning of hope for many others. A second chance at life for 4 individuals who had been living on the edge of despair. And behind this hope was the heart and selflessness of one person, Chris's mother, Caroline Henry. Now, the fact that Chris was not an organ donor made the decision for Caroline even harder. She was asked if she was willing to donate his organs, an unimaginable choice for any grieving mother. Yet, Caroline felt a deep connection in that moment. His heart was beating so fast, she said, like his heart was beating into mine. I got out of the room and simply said yes. And that is where their journey begins. This journey, born out of sorrow, would soon bring life to 4 strangers who had been waiting, hoping, and praying for a miracle, each of them in a life or death situation, their health deteriorating with no guarantee that they would survive long enough to receive the organs they so desperately needed. Each of them was in a life or death situation, their health deteriorating with no guarantee that they would survive long enough to receive the organs they desperately needed. But on December 17th, 2009, those prayers were answered. Hey guys, I do appreciate you watching the video. If you're enjoying it so far, go ahead and hit that like button. Maybe give me a subscribe. I'm going to have more videos like this coming out, so go ahead and follow and watch for more. Let's get back to today's show. In Monroe, North Carolina, 50-year-old Donna Arnold, who had been battling diabetes since she was 16 years old. For the past year and a half, she had endured grueling dialysis treatments that had weakened her body and drained her spirit. I didn't want to do anything. When I got to the point of dialysis, I realized I might die, Donna later shared. She had been on a waiting list, hoping for a kidney and pancreas transplant. But that hope seemed distant, almost unreachable. On the day that Chris passed, Donna received a phone call that would change everything. She had been a match for both Chris's kidney and pancreas. And although the process was difficult and fraught with complications, Donna was giving a new lease on life. The gift she received allowed her to escape the daily suffering that had taken over her existence and gave her the energy and validity she hadn't felt in years. In the hours following Chris's passing, 3 others would also receive life-saving organ transplants. Chris's other kidney, liver, and lungs were a match for patients who were at the end of their strength, hanging on to life by the slimmest thread. For them, Chris's organs were more than a medical intervention. They were hope in the purest form. Among the recipients of Chris's organs was James Benton, a man whose lungs were failing him after years of struggle. The call his family received on December 17th was overwhelming. His wife Deb described the moment as nothing short of miraculous. It was a gift that gave James another 18 months, she said with a voice full of gratitude. Those extra months gave James time to make memories with his family, time they never thought they would have. Now it's a precious gift. Time, that is. It's something money and medical advancements cannot guarantee. Brian Polk, another recipient of Chris's organs, had been waiting for 10 years. A former truck driver, Brian had been teetering to life on dialysis, describing the experience as being a prisoner in his own body. The toll it took on him, both mentally and physically, was staggering. But Chris's gift liberated him from his prison. It allowed Brian to return to a somewhat normal life, no longer dependent on a machine to keep him alive. And then there was Tom Elliott, the man who received Chris's lungs. This transplant meant more time to share with his family, more days to see his children and grandchildren. It meant moments that would have been stolen by an illness were now made possible by the generosity of one young man and the unimaginable kindness of his mother. In 2010, just 1 year after Chris's passing, all 4 organ recipients gathered at the medical center for a reunion. Caroline Henry, Chris's mother, was also in attendance. She had heard about the people whose lives had been saved because of her decision, but seeing them in person made it all real. These were the people her son had saved. People who were living, breathing, laughing, and loving because of him. For Caroline, this was a bittersweet moment. Up until that day, she had never truly cried for Chris. But as she put on the stethoscope and listened to her son's lungs in Tom Elliott's body, the reality of her loss and the beauty of her son's legacy hit her all at once. That was closure for me, Caroline said, and then I cried. At that same time, I felt love for all of them. The tears were not just for the loss of her son, but for the overwhelming pride that she felt knowing that Chris had saved 4 lives. In that moment, she knew Chris's story was far from over. It was just beginning. Since that day, Caroline Henry has dedicated her life to spreading the message of organ donation. She travels the country speaking to people about the importance of giving life, of making a choice that can impact others long after you're gone. It's what I do to keep from crying, Caroline stated. Occasionally, Donna Arnold, one of the recipients of Chris's organs, joins Caroline on these excursions. Together, they tell their story, a story of loss, love, and hope. We're helping people, and at the same time, we're keeping Chris's memory alive, Caroline explained. On the football field, he was always the center of attention. Now, he still is today. He's making people everywhere realize what they can do for each other. Caroline still attends a few Bengals games every year. She sits in the stands, imagining Chris running through the tunnel at Paul Brown Stadium, hearing the roar of the crowd. For her, it's a way of staying connected to the son that she lost, a way to keep his spirit alive. She knows Chris's story will continue to touch lives long after the cheering has stopped. In the world of sports, we often think we know our heroes. We see them on the field, we cheer for them, we celebrate their triumphs and mourn their defeats. But in reality, we only know the image they present, the perception we build around them. Chris's story, however, reveals the depth of the human experience. It's fragile, it's heartache, it's the capacity for profound generosity. Now, Chris may have fell from the back of a pickup truck and tragically lost his life, but because of this young man and his selfless mother, 4 people were granted the gift of life, a gift that can never fully be repaid, but will be cherished forever. Hey guys, I do appreciate it. This one was a little harder for me to get through. These type of stories just really get to me, and I wanted to share that with you. This is a story that I have known for many years. I am not a Bengals fan. I'm actually a division rival, but this story touched me many years ago, and it's something that I just wanted to share with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, do all that thing. I hope you guys got something from this, and I'll see you guys next time.